The Nigerian Defense Headquarters declared 8 people wanted over the recent killing of 17 military personnel in Delta State. In response to allegations linking them to the murder of 17 military personnel in Okuama, the Ovie of Ewu-Urhobo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Clement Ikolo Oghenerukevwe I surrendered himself to the Delta State Police Command. The monarch, one of 8 individuals declared wanted by the Defense Headquarters in connection to the incident, presented himself at the police headquarters in Asaba, where he was received by Commissioner of Police Abaniwanda Olufemi. Ikolo, who had been residing in London before his ascension to the throne, refuted any involvement in the soldiers' killing and urged for an independent inquiry by federal and state governments.
The news that came out this morning to say I'm wanted, I'm on my way to the police to declare my innocence to the police. I know nothing about this heinous crime. I'm the traditional ruler. Yes, I'm the traditional ruler of Ewu-Urhobo Kingdom. However, I know nothing about it, and I'm going to the police to turn myself in.
Is Abraham Ogbodo, former editor, Guardian newspaper, and Niger Delta leader of thoughts. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Ayo. You're welcome too.
Thank you, sir.
You've not been on set for some time.
Thank you very much, sir. You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ogbodo, just very quickly, you've seen the recent updates with regards to the traditional ruler turning himself in and saying that he had no hands in the attack of the military personnel and killings of 17 personnel. What's your take on this update, especially just a general overview, being a Niger Delta leader of thoughts yourself, with regards to how the community have responded to the security agents, especially in regards to finding out or fishing out the suspects whom they released their names and faces?
Yeah, thank you very much. It goes back to the same thing, which is that the military just want to run with its own story. The army, and nothing matters. It's what it says that must be followed. The Ovie, the traditional ruler we're talking about, is not the traditional ruler of Okuama Kingdom. The Urhobo nation is organized along kingdoms. And altogether we have 24 kingdoms, of which the Ovie we're talking about now, Oghenerukevwe, is just one king of the 24 kingdoms, which is Ewu Kingdom. And the Ewu Kingdom has a headquarters. The headquarters of Ewu Kingdom is Ewu Town. The Okuama we are talking is like a satellite settlement within the Ewu Kingdom. And the distance between where the king is even resided and where the crime allegedly happened is a distance. In fact, it is a riverine community of Ewu Kingdom. Ewu Kingdom largely is an upland area, but with some riverine communities. And so Okuama is one of those riverine communities. The man you are linking with this crime now is a man that relocated from London to just take the throne, and he is far away physically from the scene of crime. That is just, his only connection is that he happens to be the traditional ruler of a kingdom of which Okuama is a community or a satellite village. Other than that, there is no other thing that connects him. But what we are saying is that there may just be an explanation. What matters is an investigation. Let this crime be investigated. If proper investigation is done, and then the king or whoever is found to be an ancestry before or after the fact of the crime, then so be it. But none of this has been done, and we keep on. In the first, does the army defense headquarters, is it part of their duty to make declaration of wanted persons? On what basis? That investigation has been done, then those people are found to be culpable in one way or the other. And if that declaration should be, how is it done usually? Is it not through the police or some other agencies that has a function to do that? But the military is all to itself, doing everything, and then we are just there as if we are not in a democratic setting. I want to ask, is a crime committed, that unfortunate taking down of 17 soldiers, including 4 officers, is that crime against the army or against the Nigerian state? Dr. Bati, you are there. You are a lawyer. Do we have a private crime? Every crime is against the Nigerian state. That is the position of criminal jurisprudence. But it's making it look like, oh, this crime is against the army. And the army now has assumed the position of a state, a sovereignty, and then maybe it has its own attorney general, and it wants to prosecute the crime on behalf of the Nigerian state or on behalf of itself as a state. It's not proper. And when we are running with this narrative, we don't know at what point it's going to backfire with a lot of backlashes. We should organize a society along the rules set down to govern a society. Not this haphazard approach that has been since the incident of the Okuama killings took place.
Well, Abraham Ogbodo, yes, Femi Falana has already published an informed opinion that the Nigerian armed forces have no powers under the law to arrest, detain, investigate, or prosecute. That is the job of the Nigerian police. And he cited, authorities to back up, his submission, making the point that the Nigerian army, even while they claim to be investigating, should not bungle the process by doing something that will appear unlawful. And what we have seen is that the OVA, who says he's going to report to the police, I think his counsel must have advised him that the place to go is to the police, not the Nigerian Army headquarters, because they really don't have powers to even declare anybody wanted in the first place. But this being the case, will you advise that these persons who have been declared wanted, the remaining 7, should also follow the example of the OVA, including one Ruben Baru, who says nobody may see him again, to go and hand themselves over to the Nigerian police? If they are innocent, they have no reason to run away from the law. And will you also advise them that since it's the defense headquarters looking for them, why don't they come forward and go to court and say, no, the defense headquarters cannot defend them wanted? These are, aspects to it. Instead of just, condemning the process, can we also advise the people who have been named to do the right thing? If they are innocent, why not? They should do the right thing.
Yes, I got your emphasis on Ruben somebody because the fellow shares first name with you. So fortunate. Well, anyway, I think it has become a situation of individual responsibility. The OVA of Iwo Kingdom is a well-respected individual. He is high above some of these situations they are creating around him. And so I'm sure that in his own thinking, he just felt that the best thing is to just go and then surrender himself to the authorities. It wouldn't be proper that a traditional ruler will just be hunted and maybe in some kind of commando style will be bundled and thrown into a waiting truck of the military and then taken to some destination that nobody will know about. And so he felt that the proper thing to do is just that. But what we are talking about now is that atmosphere is not even there for those accused, those being accused, to just come out, to seek remedies, to either say no, to prove their innocence, either in court, or for the police to take custody and take them to court for proper trial to begin. That is not done at all. All we hear is what the military wants to do, what the army wants to do. The army has stayed put in that place, preventing every other person from entry. Not even the governor of a state can go in, purporting that they may be caught up in a crossfire. Which crossfire? Has any other person fired a gun since that incident? If there has been fire, the fire has been coming from one direction. And so, the way we're going, maybe I have thought that it's not the fault of the army. The larger society has a duty to really take the army along in a proper political education. They don't have enough of it. Under a democratic setting, the army is like any other organ of government. The government we have today is the federal government. In the criminal code or the penal code, is there a provision where you have private crime that, okay, you can commit a crime against the Nigerian army? Here in your Arise studio, if somebody breaks into the studio and then he takes away your camera and other items, if you approach the police during prosecution, is it not going to be a crime of theft, burglary, and all of that? And it will be between who and who? It will be the person accused, the defendant, and the state. Not the defendant against or versus Arise Television, but versus the state. So it must be so understood that if the army or the military suffers injury, there are laid down procedures for such injury to be addressed. It is not within them to begin to seek remedies. It's not, it has been the tradition, and maybe we just pampering it and making it look like, yes, it should be the normal state of affairs. Because we have always had stories, reports of when an army, the military or any formation of the military, either Navy, Air Force, or the Army, they may have some kind of misunderstanding with the police. The next you hear is that they have gone, raised down a police station, they have sacked the DPO, killed some people, and then it's all okay. No, this kill and go mentality has to stop. We all commensurate with the army. There is no basis, no justification for what happened. But it has happened. And is that why the community should be taken out? Nobody does that. Nobody takes out a community because everybody belongs to the community. The soldiers, as we have them today now, after their service, when they have finished doing whatever they are doing as military men, they will return to their community. So the community must be protected. We are all expendable. Some way, by some reason, we shall all get expired. But the community remains. So will you, on account of anything, take out a community? No. It shouldn't happen. And it shouldn't be encouraged. That is my position.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogbodo. And that's why I had asked earlier, being yourself, Niger Delta thought leader, your take on the situation and the response, or perhaps the actions of the military, the handling of the situation, and very clearly established that in terms of declaration of being wanted, is the preserve of the police. And you also mentioned or alluded during your conversation, during your speech there, that sometimes there might be internal maybe disagreements in terms of handling of matters between both state actors, the military and the police. And in this instance, feeling very aggrieved, the DHQ have proceeded to declare these men wanted. I'll go back to Dr. Bati's question with regards to, shouldn't then, having analyzed all this, the 7 men, and the Monarch, now the Monarch has surrendered himself in a manner of speaking, shouldn't the 7 men also take the same line in terms of what the Monarch has done while seeking redress to ensure that due process is followed?
Yes, I will agree with you. And there has to be some assurance. All 7 men can come out, surrender themselves, give up themselves to the police authority. But there has to be some assurance. Because the disposition of the military, why people are running is that the military is known not to follow any due process. The military, of course, the role of the military is territorial defense. internal affairs like this is only when the organs of government assigned for internal security. It's only when those organs are overwhelmed that the military is called in for tactical support, and as soon as they return situations to normal, they step back. But here we have the army pushing ahead to declare people wanted and wanting them to come out and all of that, and there is always this they will be dealt with. The commander-in-chief, that the president will say one thing, let there be investigation. The chief of defense staff, that fine gentleman, we also put a statement. Look, we have a lead and we are following that lead. Then some other junior officers will be saying something else. That no matter the level of propaganda, they are bent on catching the culprits and all of that. Why should they be talking across purposes? Is that how it is done? After your commander-in-chief has spoken, I mean, what other point, what other thing are you going to say? Okay. You counter your commander-in-chief? Okay. And in any case, every military officer, they don't even deploy themselves. They must, their deployment is consequent upon the instruction of the commander-in-chief. But the way it is going, I don't know at what point the military will become like part of us, that yes, this is our army, this is our military, and there is a collaboration for civil society to help them to do their work. But the way it is now, they are creating enmity between themselves and civil society, is the way I see it. So, to answer that question properly, all 7 should turn in themselves to the police and let the proper trial begin to either prove their culpability or their innocence. It's how it's done anywhere. Don't we have a judicial system?
Abraham Ogbodo, just some clarifications. I mean, the Nigerian army is clearly aggrieved. Yes. It's not easy to just lose 17 of their men, just like that. And the president had given them direct express instruction to carry out investigations and do whatever they can to make sure that the perpetrators are brought to justice. The issues that have been raised are issues in terms of how they are going about it. In the first place, the defense headquarters cannot on its own, not even the police, declare anybody wanted. You have to get a court order. Do they have a court order in this particular case? Okay. But what Nigerians expect is that justice should be done. And the best way to get that justice is to go through the right procedure. And for those traditional rulers and community leaders, there's even a professor on that list. If they know that they are innocent, then of course, let them also do the right thing. We'd like to thank you very much, Abraham Ogbodo, for joining us on The Monarch.